Welcome, cadets. My name is Elurs Tralvai, NASA Forward Command Specialist, and today I have been authorized to document the testing of recovered celestial weaponry. Disclaimers abound. If you are currently holding offspring or suffer from conditions known as epilepsy, it is recommended that you visit medical and retrieve a specialty waiver before viewing this picture. Thank you. Assisting us in testing celestial equipment is our very own Paul, noted cosmonaut. Say hello, Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul.
Let's join Paul on the testing platform. First on the list is the celestial plasma emitter known as Phasma. The Phasma is a superheated plasma blade contained by an anti-gravity field which extends to the user. Notice how it quickly dispatches these zombies. And watch also as the anti-gravity field extends to the user. Look at Paul. He's getting the hang of the dashing now. Look at how fast he's going. You too can operate at this speed as well. The kinetic damage is also very palpable. Watch as it dissects this antlion. And you can also perform feats of incredible jumping, as Paul has. Utilize this ability of this anti-gravity field to gain supreme distance. Next up on the list, we have the celestial utility tool known as the Spectra. Study its profile now. You'll never know when you'll encounter it in the field, and it's best to quickly identify it. The Spectra is an ancient celestial tool, a utility blaster with 3 capable settings. The first setting translates the energy conducted into heat energy, superheating each affected item that is hit by the utility blaster's projectile. This can cause spontaneous combustion in entities, objects, and materials not suited for direct contact with heat equivalent to the surface of a small star. I have just been informed that a wildfire has broken out on the testing platform. We will be dispatching Paul with a fire extinguisher to deal with the containment issue. While we let Paul do his job, let's go over some small trivia. Back on his home planet, Paul used to be a volunteer firefighter. Skills that we can see have not completely been forgotten. Good job, Paul. Well done, Paul. Now that we've taken care of the wildfire, let's return to the testing platform. The Spectra's second utility mode translates the energy onto the next affected target with a super corrosive energy field, slowly breaking down its molecular structure 1 molecule at a time, until there is nothing left except motes of dust. Quite gruesome. The final setting translates the energy into a special kind of photon lattice that steals the positive electrons, thereby quickly cooling the air around the target. This achieves an effect similar to flash freezing used in cryogenic storage. Notice how this zombie has been flash frozen stiff. However, due to the ambient temperature of most planets, this effect is impossible to maintain for long periods of time, and will quickly thaw. The final utility function of the Spectra Blaster will be demonstrated as thus. A special electron field quickly destabilizes the neural functions of this zombie and makes living entities unable to physically move from their position, therefore stunning them. This effect does not last very long. It is recommended by NASA Forward Command's instruction team that you capitalize upon this very brief window of time. And now for a live-fire demonstration with the assistance of Paul and an android. Here we see that Paul is currently visiting the exterior first aid and suit charger station. It is recommended that prior to any potentially dangerous task that you visit said stations located hopefully near your operational area. NASA Forward Command wants you to be safe on the field. Your life means something. And now, the first actual weapon developed by the Celestials, the Prisma. Study the sleek and elegant profile of the compact weapon in Paul's arms. The Prisma is a fully automatic photon-based weapon, utilizing photon collectors to charge its ammunition reservoir. The weapon is comparable to a submachine gun in stature and in mechanical effect. We have noted that firing the weapon too fast does cause it to overheat. We do recommend that you do not hold down the trigger and indeed utilize the same principles for ballistic weapons as of firing in short, controlled bursts and aiming down the sights when applicable. Just look at that kinetic impact. So much power in every bolt. The next weapon in our lineup is the Vectra, a hexagonal 7-barreled energy projector. Vectra's hunched frame gives it a deceivingly low-power appearance, and it does rightfully project an image. Pulling the trigger once allows the Vectra to fire one singular plasma bolt. However, when you hold down the trigger, as will be described in a moment, it begins to store light and plasmatic energy in one of 7 barrels for later firing, when the trigger is released. And now, practical range testing for the hexagonal firing for long range. NASA Forward Command ballistics testing has identified that the hexagonal firing pattern is best suited to close-range engagements akin to a ballistic 12-gauge shotgun. Notice in this test demonstration how the zombies are left completely unaffected. We recommend that intermediate ranges beyond closer point blank you use the primary fire. Moving on to the short range test. Notice how in this test the hexagonal barrels have a much more likely chance of correctly hitting their target, dealing incredible amounts of damage to the target. Wait, there's one alive! Look out, Paul! Hold on, more coming! are back. As you can see, Paul has only suffered a few minor scrapes and bruises. Nothing a little first aid treatment can't fix. On to the next test. The mighty Astra. The Astra is a weapon known as a photon lance. Photon lances utilize dangerous amounts of powerful light energy to, well, quite frankly, disintegrate the cellular structure of organic targets and disrupt the cellular and molecular structure of inorganic materials. These projectiles travel slightly faster than the speed of light, making them barely noticeable for only a few microseconds. Here we have our test subject of Rory the Antlion Guard. Ballistics says that the photon lens should be completely ineffectual to him. Wait, Paul, no! You weren't... What happened? The council will not be happy about this. Anyway, the next weapon on our itinerary is the Zila. I've been informed that this is a rather dangerous weapon. Paul, are you sure about this? The weapon seems to be interfering with Paul's sensor equipment. I think we'll be able to go on with the test. Paul? Paul? Anomaly's taken care of, and we've lost vitals on Paul. Oh dear. Mrs. Paul is going to have a hard time, but in the meantime, we will have employed our wonderful new assistant, ART-3. Everyone say hello to Artie.
Roger, roger.
Artie will be testing, from a safe distance, the effects of the Zila against organic life forms. So, take it away, Artie. The final weapon on showcase today would be the venerable Supra, rarest of all in our collection. This mighty energy plasmatic grenade launcher is truly a force to be reckoned with, and the only weapon of the Celestials with the capability of indirect fire. Artie will demonstrate the capabilities of the Supra. When the trigger is pulled, a plasmatic grenade will be launched with low velocity, low speed, and low yield. It will be sent in what looks to be a 5-degree cone in a random direction. However, as the trigger is held down and more power is fed into the grenade and the weapon itself from its reservoir magazine, the velocity, the power, and the accuracy increase tenfold. This makes it a viable weapon to engage at medium to long range with a precise aim shot. And that concludes today's instruction. With this knowledge, you should be able to correctly